Woe to those who substitute good for evil, evil for good, who substitute light for dark and dark for light, bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Woe to those who are wise in their own eyes. And that speaks to pride. That's Isaiah 5:20 and 21, one of my favorite verses, which is applicable to the end days, the days that we're living in now, when we are truly seeing good, which is defined by God in his word, in his law, being flipped. We're seeing believers in Christ persecuted all over the world. We're seeing them prosecuted in this country. At the same time, we're seeing some of the sickest, most depraved human beings on the planet get protected from, who knows, the people in the shadows. But we're seeing the Epstein files come out, the biggest celebrities in the world, the biggest world leaders exposed. I know there's been such a foundation of disbelief with AI and fake news over the years that I think everything coming out now is almost in a mocking fashion because people won't believe it. They can write it off and, excuse it one way or another and continue to believe what they want to believe. But the truth remains, if you're not burying your head in the sand, if you're actually looking at the evidence fairly, it's really, really disturbing, the things that are happening. The children that are being trafficked and abused in the most insane ways. And yet when you read it, you realize you've seen it in cinema, in shows. You've seen exactly the type of stuff that is happening, the Hunger Games type of world that we see in dystopian cinema. It's all playing out through these emails, and we've seen people blowing the whistle on this stuff for decades, but nobody ever does anything because power protects power, and there's so many puppets and charlatans and wolves in sheep's clothing, and it's a dangerous world. And the reason I was even going to say anything right now was like, why do we share? Like, why do we share when we know people will reject it? I was in the book of Luke today, and the whole book of Luke is the longest of the four gospels. Luke was a doctor. It has a follow-up in, at the book of Acts, which is one of my favorite books, because it just really shows the Acts of the Apostles and what they went through back then, before there was all the distractions that there are today that keep many of God's strongest warriors from speaking out, because it's just so easy to get comfortable. That's the best thing the devil can do. But Luke was writing this to Theophilus, who many believe and presume was a Gentile believer. He was not a Jew. He was not one of the chosen people, but he was grafted in because Jesus came to graft everyone into his kingdom. It wasn't just the Jews of Israel, just like it wasn't just the Muslims that Allah, it was everyone who believes in the finished work of the cross. It's the only God of any religion, if you want to talk religion, that came back and sacrificed himself for everyone. I realize the significance of conquering death, but when you're talking about the creator of all things, I don't think it's that big of a deal, and that's not even to make light of it. The point is, why do we share? It's like the well has been so poisoned against believers that people think they're being prideful, or they think they're better than everyone, or they're so full of judgment, they're bigots. The world has painted this view on anyone who shares their faith, who talks about Jesus. It's automatically associated with someone who, hates gay people, or, the trans thing. And there is no hate in a true believer. There is some people that are bigots, that are full of hate, and that use religion, and they truly are, in the worst sense of the term, using God's name in vain to push their own self-righteous agendas. But there is no hate in a true believer's heart that is sharing. I could care less what anybody does with their life here in this earth. It's up to them. But it would be disingenuous of me or any believer to not share with patience and grace the truth of who God is, who he revealed himself to be through Jesus and the sacrifice on the cross. When you see someone living against God's law, God's nature, this world normalizes it. Again, Isaiah 5:20, this world makes what is bad good, what is evil good, and what is dark light, and what is light, dark. It's reversing everything. It's the bizarro world. And so when we share, it's not about anything that's going to happen while we're alive on this earth. We're spiritual beings living human experience. There is life after death. And where do you want to spend it? And the thing is, the crazy thing is, it's just like you think about it. If you really don't believe in what I'm saying, then just laugh it off and know that it's coming with good intentions. You don't have to believe it. But it's the hate that is drilled up by the world. That's the thing. When you go down the rabbit holes of the evil being exposed, you realize their number one target, their number one enemy is Jesus Christ, at least the real Jesus. There is many counterfeit Jesus that are preached that is all accepting of everything, regardless of the roads that lead you down, which are dangerous. But if you allow any worldview, whether it's tied to your identity, sexually, racially, religiously, politically, if you allow any of that to stir up hate in your heart for someone who is on the opposite side of you, you are outside of God's will. That is completely outside of God's will. He went to the cross for everybody. He forgave those who were crucifying him while he was bleeding out on the cross. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. So if you ever find yourself hating somebody because of your perceived perception of yourself in them, know that you're not walking in line with God, regardless of what your pastor or anybody tells you. If you have hate in your heart for someone, you're not in line with God. Any true believer does not have hate in their heart when they share sin being sin and trying to shield somebody from eternal punishment. If you don't believe it, you don't believe it, but then just laugh it off. But let this be a letter to anyone who is trying to share, to stay emboldened, to never grow weary of doing good. That's Galatians 6:9. We have to keep doing it. And I'm only doing this right now because I keep trying to do more to keep myself accountable, because I don't want to miss up opportunities. And if I come out here and say this, I can't miss an opportunity when it presents itself. So be bold, be encouraged. Times are tough. We're still kind of protected here in this country. All over the world, people are dying for their faith, but it's worth it, because then you get to see the glory of Jesus in heaven. He will come back soon. All the birth pains are there. So keep believing. If somebody shares with you, please just have the heart to know their intentions are good if they're a true believer. Discern a tree for its fruit, but don't prejudge them based on what the world says. Anyway, I hope this finds you well. God bless. We'll see you soon.